Okay, so I realized when I was editing one of the episodes that sometimes I'll reach over and adjust my microphone. And my microphone stand was squeaking. So I was having to edit a squeak out of every single time I got excited and moved my microphone, which was hell. So in classic dad fashion, I went into the garage and grabbed a can of WD-40 and I blasted those hinges with WD-40. And now look at this. Silent as an ant's fart. But the problem,
was awesome.
Thank you. The problem I've run into is the way that it maintains position is through a combination of spring tension pulling on the arm and friction at the joints to keep it in place. And so because I have de-frictioned those joints, my microphone will sometimes just sort of run away from me. And then I have to bring it back to me again because the springs are doing too good of a job and the friction is doing too bad of a job. And so I've given myself a fun podcasting game where I have to follow my microphone around like a toddler chasing a spoonful of food.
She just wants to take a little walk.
Yeah, it's just
not
like,
the end of the world.
What's over here? There's a cat bed. Let's see what's going on this side of the room. Hi, cat. Polydactyl.
Vociferous.
Bombastic.
Rectangle. Big words for smart people.
Hey, this is Big Words for Smart People, the only podcast that makes dumb guys smarter and smart guys more smarter. I'm Frankie, and my pronouns are they, them.
I'm Eric. My pronouns are he, him.
Hi, Eric.
What is up, Frankie? I asked like we weren't talking 20 seconds ago.
Things are different now. I'm no longer so tired.
Everything's
I'm awake
changed.
as fuck.
Everything's changed.
Yeah. Eric, I brought a word for us today. And
Let's do it.
I'm delighted to report that this is not only my word, this is our word. This is a very special episode that I'm a special kind of episode that I'm calling We'd Like to Have a Word with You, because this word was submitted by a listener.
You are a conduit for the listeners' word cravings, bringing us a new word.
The spirit of the listener flows through me.
Yes.
And that's why our word for today
Wait.
Oh.
Who's the listener that you're acting as a conduit for? Whose word are we having with? Whomst is the word. Mother.
I'm channeling the name of the listener who submitted their word today for us. This word was requested by Kate from Discord. Thanks, Kate.
Thank you, Kate from Discord, for being the word mother of this word parent, the word
Thank
spawning.
You for impregnating this podcast with this beautiful word.
the brood word mother. Okay, now you can tell me the word.
And the word that Kate has implanted into her fertile podcast womb is ruthless.
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 Ruthless. I don't have a Ruth anymore. R.I.P. RBG. I'm ruthless.
We are sans Ruth.
We are
for better
without
or for worse.
Ruth. Now now instead of truth, it's just.
You can't handle the. The t will set you far. That was stupid.
You got yourself.
I did. I'm sorry. I'm just really funny.
Yeah,
I think
so
I'm
funny.
really funny.
Really good.
I'm the tall poppy.
Of the matter is
Speaking of tall poppies.
Okay.
Kate was thinking of this word while in the garden, and Kate wanted to know why is it like this? Why is it called Ruthless? So we're going to find out today. But before we get into that, Eric, did you know that ruthless is an adjective?
No, I don't know what an adjective is.
Yes, indeed. Ruthless is an adjective, which
Cool.
means having no pity, merciless, or cruel. This is from our friends at Merriam-Webster.
Without Ruth.
Without Ruth. And it turns out Ruth is also a noun. Not a
Okay.
proper noun, the other kind.
A different
An improper noun. Ooh.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. I got your improper noun right here, pal.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ruth is a bit of an archaic noun.
It sounds like
guess.
a medieval kind of like we stopped using it, but we used to use it kind of archaic thing. I would say
Yeah.
medieval to me, but I don't know if that's true.
I also don't know. Wait, yes, I do.
Cool.
It's from the 12th century.
Okay, cool. So, kinda, yeah.
Kinda, yeah.
Kinda, yeah. Did it? Okay, you're gonna tell me things. I'm not gonna ask you questions.
I'm personally unclear whether the name or the proper noun came first. The name, I think,
Okay.
is Hebrew in origin, but
I
maybe
bet
it's
it's
one of those
different.
things like, people who are named Grace. You know, you
Yeah.
name a lady after something good. Anyway, Ruth as a noun means compassion for the misery of others, or
Okay.
alternatively, sorrow. It's a hard word for me to say. Sorrow for one's own faults or remorse. So you're compassionate, and also if you fuck up, you feel bad about it.
You feel bad about it.
Ruth.
Some like empathy. So Ruth is an empath, and Ruth feels what you feel and understands what you understand.
Yeah, Ruth is an empath. She's like really attuned into the feelings of others.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike her evil twin Ruthless. Yes.
To be sans Ruth. Okay. Well,
To
that's
be
interesting.
Sans Ruth. Oh no, Ruth.
It's kind of a cool word that we have that we know the meaning of, like the Ruth, like the less version. We know the meaning of its opposite, but we don't use the
Mhm.
original meaning anymore.
Yeah, it's been,
you know what I
It's
mean?
been kind of lost.
The root
like
word
been-
is
it's-
lost to time, but the adjusted word is not.
It's been it's been replaced, I think, in the mind of the average citizen by
Yeah.
the name. There is an antonym to ruthless, ruthful,
Ruthful?
which I feel like I've heard before, but not often.
No, it was on a magic card in like 1994, and that's the last time anybody used it. So it was like Ruthful
Gnome.
Harbinger. Yeah, yours was less cool than mine was. I had like a dope angel, and you're like, he's kind of just like a little guy in the woods.
He's just a little guy who feels bad for you.
He's like, I'm sorry, man. You want a mushroom? Here you go, dude.
Sympathetic short king.
It's not gonna do anything to your brain or whatnot, but it tastes yummy. Here's a mushroom. I'm sorry about the thing I'm sorry you stubbed your toe on that root. And
you could make a pasta out of it if you had a lot of them, but I only have one.
I only
so.
have one. I'm sorry. That root got your toe. This wood is rootful, but if you come to my house, it's rootless. And then,
Eric, it's so crazy how you took the word ruthless and then took some things that sound kind of like it and then riffed off of it. I would never do that. Anyway, have you ever heard of Ruth's Chris?
okay, hold on. This is weird because yes, but no. Ruth's Chris. I could not, gun to my head, could not tell you what a Ruth's Chris is. A deep part of my brain says it's a restaurant. And I don't know why I would know that.
Yeah.
Okay. Would I have seen one in an airport in passing when I was going, I'm just going to go to Wendy's again or Chipotle?
Probably not the airport. It's
Okay.
more of a sit down
Okay.
kind of place. It's the kind of place you would find at like North Hills Mall.
Would it
Like
be
one of
near
those, like,
Pret a
big, like
Manger?
outside malls?
Because Pret a
It'd probably be
Manger,
near a Pret a Manger.
I've also never been to, but it sounds fancy.
You'd find it in the same complex as like a PF Chang.
Oh, okay. So in a similar context, right? I'd be like, well, I've seen it, but I'm probably just going to go to Wendy's again or Chipotle.
I mean, you would sit down at a Ruth's. It's a steakhouse. It's a steakhouse. Ruth's Chris Steakhouse.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if you got sick there, it'd be a Miss Steakhouse.
Ruth's Chris Giardia.
Okay. Ruth's Chris Steakhouse is really rough if you have a lisp. That's a tough sell.
It really.
If you have a lisp, just go to the Wendy's.
I think it really has to take the cake for like one of the worst named restaurants. I think it's like really neck and neck with Fuddruckers.
Yeah, that's rough. Okay, so Ruth's.
Yeah.
Okay,
Rough
we're no longer
duckers.
talking about Ruthless. We're talking about Ruth's Chris, the steakhouse Eric's never been to. Okay, good podcast. Keep it going.
If you're like me, you've probably been pretty curious. Why the fuck do they call it that? That's a terrible name for a restaurant. It doesn't make sense, right?
Okay. Yeah. I don't have any idea what you're talking about.
Well, I think anybody who knows about Ruth's Chris Steakhouse knows, wow, that is a terrible name for a restaurant. Why is it called that? So we're going to find out together today. It's a pretty straightforward story.
Okay.
So in 1950, whatever.
Yeah.
I'll post some sources for this. We can put them in our show notes. I was looking at the Ruth's Chris website, and then fundinguniverse.com, which I guess gives histories of franchised businesses. I don't know.
It's a living.
This is public domain information. This isn't protected data.
Sure.
Figure it out.
Okay, man. Stop couching your Ruth's Chris knowledge and drop it on me.
So the restaurant was originally just called Chris Steakhouse, which again is a really bad name for a steakhouse, but whatever. I wasn't there. They didn't ask me.
Yeah. Okay.
And this steakhouse was originally owned by a guy named Chris, who like repeatedly, like over and over again, would sell this steakhouse when it was really profitable, and then the new owners would inevitably just tank and then he would buy it back again for super cheap, and then he would raise the business back up again and then sell it off, and then it would tank, and then he would buy it back for cheap. And I couldn't find anything confirming that he was scamming, but like he was definitely scamming, right?
That's a scam. I know a scam. That right there is a scam. I don't understand enough about business to understand how the scam is working, but that's definitely a scam. Or a front? Was he actually?
I think he was shorting.
He was shorting? I don't know what shorting is either,
Yeah.
but I'm pretty sure our gnome friend would probably have an idea.
Yeah, the Ruthful Gnome.
Yeah, the Ruthful Gnome was like, well, actually, if you come into my house, I can explain shorting. See, when you expect a business to fail.
Yeah.
Okay, so this guy's running some kind of weird steakhouse Ponzi scheme.
Yeah, so Ruth's Chris Ponzi scheme. Baby Boy is buying and selling his restaurant back time and time again. I think just because he wants to make a lot of money, and this was like 1940 whatever, so you could just kind of do whatever the fuck you wanted.
Sure. I mean, like, if you have the skill set of rebuilding a failing steakhouse, you find work where you can get it. You build up your steakhouse, you let it fail, you buy it back, rinse and repeat. I'm turning around. I think this guy's a genius. I think Chris nailed it.
I mean, I think that he fucked over a lot of prospective restaurateurs, but you find work where you can get it, and if that where you can get it is the same restaurant 6 times, then who am I to judge? This bitch is dead anyway. Anyway, in 1965, a woman named Ruth.
Okay.
Ruth Fertel.
Yeah.
I think that's how you pronounce it. Fertel. Fertel.
Fertel.
I'm gonna go with Fertel.
Fertel, probably.
Ruth Fertel bought the Chris Steakhouse in May of 1965 against the advice of her family, her friends, and everybody that she knew.
Okay.
Which is understandable. You have this woman who is a single mother who cannot, pay the bills on alimony alone, who mortgages her house and puts everything on the line for a failing steakhouse. And you're like, hey, maybe don't do that.
A steakhouse with a history of failing.
Yeah, exactly.
Like a storied history of being bad.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, and I don't know why it failed so often, because like it's in a really good location. It was like in a really popular area in New Orleans.
Sure. Well, I know this. It's because every time a new owner would take over the Chris Steakhouse, this man with a thick mustache would walk in. And no one noticed him leaving cockroaches behind from his pants leg and complaining about the service and writing terrible reviews on 1940s or 50s or whatever Yelp. And it's just weird. And once the business was under, this guy Chris would come in. He'd kick out this person who looked like Chris but did have a mustache, and rinse and repeat.
It's just a big man in a white suit saying, like, I do declare this sirloin is not fit for a mule.
And Ruth's like,
something like that.
Get out of here. It's mine now. Here. And he's like, oh, man. And then he left to go sabotage
mule loves
the
these
Denny's.
Sirloins. Anyway, she bought the steakhouse against everyone's advice, and it took off. Like, it did really, really well. I'm reading it from fundinguniverse.com. A few months after opening, Hurricane Betsy devastated New Orleans, and Fertel was left with no electricity and a cooler full of expensive raw meat. But she turned the disaster to her advantage, cooking steaks for the relief workers and displaced people in the neighborhood. She was also able to keep the restaurant open on Fridays, as the Bishop of New Orleans diocese temporarily suspended Meatless Friday because of the loss of local fisheries in the storm. Catholics are wild.
Yes.
Fertel soon built a loyal customer base, and before long there were lines out the door. Fertel estimates that 90 to 90% of her customers were male, and her restaurants began to attract prominent local politicians and businessmen. I did read in another source that most, if not all, of her employees, her waitresses and cooks, were all also single mothers.
Okay.
Which is pretty cool.
Okay, so
it's women supporting women.
Was Ruth a baddie though? Because that would explain why so many men were like, "I'm going to go to this steakhouse for sure."
I've seen pictures of Ruth, and I could only find pictures of her in her 70s, but she was a baddie. Maybe she could just cook a steak, I don't
made
know.
A mean steak.
I wasn't there in 1965.
Delicious.
But it...
Frankie, can I just stamp real quick that you said earlier the phrase, a cooler full of raw meat? And I've been trying to find a joke for that, and I can't, but I really like the way a cooler full of raw meat tumbles out my mouth. So thank you for that.
It's got like iambic pentameter or something.
It's really comfortable. If we did episode titles, that would be the title of this episode.
A cooler full of raw meat. Yeah.
A cooler full of raw meat.
Maybe not.
No, it's got good mouth feel. Much like Ruth steaks.
Much like raw meat at Ruth steaks, yes.
Like raw Ruth. Uh-oh.
Eric, at this point, the steakhouse is still called Chris's or Chris Steakhouse.
Okay, which is bad.
Chris Steakhouse.
Which is bad.
Which is bad.
The sonic
we don't like Chris. We like
assonance of
Ruth.
S to S is bad.
Chris Steakhouse.
Chris.
It would be better if it was Chris's Steakhouse,
Chris
but
Steakhouse.
it's not. It's Chris
Steakhouse.
Steakhouse. Yeah.
Christicus.
Chris Steakhouse. So, in 1975,
okay,
the restaurant burns down.
Oh no, that's not funny. I'm not laughing. That's not funny. Oh man.
To my knowledge, nobody's hurt. It's just a huge like financial blow.
Yeah.
However, Fertel does have a secondary location that is not a restaurant. It's just like a place that she owns for events. It's an event space.
Okay.
And so after her first restaurant burns down, she's like, okay, bet. I'm just going to move all my shit to the second space. We'll make a new Chris Steakhouse. People know this name, so I don't want to change the name, even though it sucks.
Mm-hmm.
I got the name recognition. We're just going to do Chris Steakhouse like 100 feet that way. Chris is like, no. No way.
I declare you cannot move my restaurant.
I do declare that I'm pretty salty that you've made a successful business out of my restaurant shorten scheme.
I've been sitting outside yelling at people, telling them not to go in there. It's full of llamas, and no one's been listening to me, and I swear that's always worked before.
Get out of here, Chris.
Oh, man, you got me again. I spent $25 on this fake mustache.
This is like swipe or no swiping. This is very innocent.
So say it louder. Get out of here, Chris.
No libel. Chris, no libel. But Chris is like super salty that she's actually made a successful business out of his restaurant turning scheme. So he's like, hey, I'm making it a rule that only this location can be called Chris Steakhouse. So if you want to make your new steakhouse somewhere else, you can't call it that. And Ruth's like, bet. Okay, I'm going to call it Ruth's Chris Steakhouse.
Okay, she's good.
It's a big like fuck you to this guy.
She's big petty, and I like that a lot. Ruth, you're all right.
Yeah.
Ruth checks out.
We like you, Ruth.
We like you, Ruth. And that's the Ruth of the matter.
That's the Ruth of the matter. That's the Ruth of the story. That's how we wound up with Ruth's Chris.
Okay.
She was interviewed about people like it. I've never been. The first there's a Ruth's Chris in Durham that I used to drive by occasionally, and I was trying to look up like what Ruth's Chris was, because like I never heard of it until I saw the one in Durham. And so like I Google Ruth's Chris, and Google gives you those like suggested questions. And the first one that came up was, can you wear t-shirts at Ruth's Chris? Yeah, no. You can.
Okay. Listen,
it's like an Outback steakhouse. Like, it's not fine dining.
It's finer. It's not like,
yeah.
I mean, depending on where you live in the contiguous United States, it might be fine dining.
Yeah. I mean, if you want a steak, you're gonna have a better time than if you go to Chili's.
Dude, I am so hungry right now. I'm like over on my other laptop Googling pictures of Ruth's Chris steaks, and I'm like, these look amazing.
They look like
they're
good
served
steaks.
on a sizzling plate, according to the Reddit AI overview.
Yeah, they have like a proprietary cooking method where they put it on a griddle that's 1800 degrees Fahrenheit.
Whoa.
Okay. I don't know why.
So it's like when you get fajitas at a Mexican restaurant and they bring it out to you like on the hot plate.
Yes.
But it's a steak, and it's at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. Ruth's
Chris Steakhouse. Yeah, she was interviewed in like 1997 or something.
Yeah.
Okay. Where's my source here? 2002. Excuse me. She says, I've always hated the name, but we've always managed to work around it.
That's fair. I get that. I don't like the name.
It's not a good name.
Restaurants don't get middle names you can pivot to halfway through your life journey. You're kind of stuck with the name you got,
Who would do that?
I don't know, man. Why don't you come back and visit me? When you come to visit someday, we'll go to Ruth's Chris together, and we'll live blog it.
Dude, I straight up want to do that. That sounds really fun.
I kind of do too, but I think because I'm hungry. That's
I love a steak, man.
Frankie, that's way more interesting than I thought it was going to be 15 minutes ago when you started this bit. So thank you for that. And thank you, Ruth. And eat it, Chris. Get out of here.
Yeah, we stand Ruth. We hate Chris.
Chris,
no libel.
No longer Chris. We're going to go to the Ruth's Chris, and we're going to put a big old line through the Chris part, and it'll just be Ruth's Steakhouse, which still doesn't feel good to say.
Ruth.
But
Ruth's Steakhouse.
I like the fact that she ruthlessly removed Chris from the steakhouse operation.
She did. She was really ruthless with her branding.
Yeah, man.
That's my
Ruthless.
story. Ruthless.
Do you have a
No.
So last episode,
Yeah.
I tried to start a trend, and by trend I mean thing that I'm forcing you to do as my podcast co-host. Do you have a Pokemon based on the name Ruthless?
I do. I spent days thinking of
Yeah.
this. This is from the deepest crevices of my imagination. I plucked this Pokemon out of the ether.
Yeah. You're really dressing up this idea. It better be good enough for this, for the amount of time you purportedly spent on it. This is going to be the best Pokemon idea ever. Pokemon creators worldwide are going to feel a tremor come through going, I got to make this thing into...
So the Pokemon that I'm bringing to the table based on our word of the week, Ruthless, is Ruthsatyr.
Ruthsatyr. Okay.
So playing on the concept of Ruth and soothsayer, and it's a satyr.
Oh, okay, cool. With a T. I heard D like Crusader, which would be a challenging concept to introduce to the Pokemon canon, but I'm up to the task.
Yeah. Ruthsatyr is a satyr-like creature that comes down out of the mountains to give you warnings about bad things that'll happen in the future because it's really compassionate towards people and it doesn't want people to suffer.
Cool. What type is it?
It is dark fairy.
Dark fairy. I like that for a satyr. Cool.
Yeah.
I like that. I'll catch you.
That's our Ruthful imp.
Ruthsatyr.
Ruthless.
Ruthless.
I'll kill you.
It doesn't say his name, and the enemy is like, I'll kill you.
I'll kill you.
With like a dude's voice behind it. It was like, I'll kill you. It was like really not funny. And Ash is like, I'm going to catch that. And Missy's like, don't leave. Ash, leave that one. I wouldn't. Don't do that. If you like what we do, tell your friends, share videos, share clips. We'll be putting more clips on YouTube. There's some already up there. Like, comment, subscribe, follow. It seems like a small thing for you to do, but it really is really impactful for us. It also helps us know. We will
love you romantically.
Frankie will love you romantically. I'll love you platonically. And also implatonically. But really, we can only know if the things we're trying are working if we get feedback. If you have a word you would like to suggest for us to do in another segment of We'd Like to Have a Word with You, shout outs again to Kate.
Kate from Discord. Thank you, Kate. We loved having a word with you.
The sovereign nation of Discord. If you'd like to give us...
gently implanting a word into our fertile podcast wombs.
Don't like this bit. If you have a word for us to enwombatize, jump in the Discord and let us know. There's a link to the Discord and also our email and other things in the show notes below.
We want to be pregnant with your words.
No, talk about the bees. I don't want to hear your impreg word porn riffing.
Well, for me, it's more like them preg, but still.
Okay, that's fair.
You know what is really ruthless? Couldn't think of anything.
Yeah, you nailed it. Our bees. You know, ruthless bees. Nature's most aggressive bug.
You know what has no remorse for others? It is merciless in its pursuit of pollen.
Okay.
It's our bees.
All right.
They were made by Lava Salmon, and you can find more from her in the show notes.
Thank you, Lava Salmon.
Thank you, Lava Salmon.
Until next time.
We hope you have a very ruthless week.
Good job.
I'll kill you.
I'll kill you.
I'll kill you.
I feel like if I had an ex-girlfriend describe me or boyfriend describe me as a cooler full of raw meat, I'm not sure if I would think it was a compliment or an insult, but I think I would put it as my only Facebook status from now into eternity.
I think that if an ex called me a cooler full of raw meat, we would need to have a serious conversation. I'm a cooler full of cooked.
I'm a yeah. Fish.
Come on.
Tofu?
Come on, Frank. Just say a word.
Say your dumb thing so I can say my dumb thing
Come
and the
on.
podcast can end. You have to let it end.
Turnips.
Okay.
Turnips.
I am a bread box full of raw meat.
There it is. Whatever it is, there it is.
There it is.